And welcome back, everybody, to Trade for a Living. We're getting into trader tip number 4, and I'm going to answer the question of how does a credit spread work. To start this discussion off, let's first understand what is a credit spread. Well, a credit spread is a type of vertical option spread. So if you're not familiar with vertical option spreads, you can look at some of our other videos and understand that better. But it's a type of a vertical option spread. It's a very popular option strategy, and specifically, it's a selling strategy. And I've underlined that here on the screen. It's a selling strategy. In other words, we're placing this trade to receive the income from selling those options. Next, I want you to understand that this is a high probability, limited risk strategy. And frankly, this bullet point right here is really the reason so many people are drawn to the credit spread, because it's got a high probability of success. Naturally, the natural probability here is going to be at least a 65% probability of success, and typically it's even higher than that, even without any good analysis. It's just the nature of the strategy, and because it does have a limited risk relative to, say, for example, selling a naked put. And it does involve, here's how it's created, it involves both buying and selling the same type of option. I'll underline this here. Buying and selling the same type of option, but with different strike prices. So it's going to involve buying a call and selling a call, or buying a put and selling a put, but with different strike prices. So let me show you in an actual scenario how this gets set up here. Take a look at this trade here on Halliburton. And notice what's happening here. The stock is sold off. It started to build a foundation. It's made a higher high. It's made a higher low. So you started to see the beginning of this trend, and now it's broken out of that trend. So you recognize that, hey, this momentum has shifted, but maybe it's not quite got the momentum you want to actually go buy, say, for example, a call option, or maybe even the stock itself. And so you decide that you're going to sell some options. So let's zoom in on this area right here. Let's zoom in on that same area here. And instead of buying the stock or buying, say, for example, a call option, we're going to sell a $44 put option. Now, why would we do that? This is a naked put, and the reason we're selling this put option is because we're expecting the stock to go up or to stay the same price. And so there's where our odds of success come from. Right there, that's 2 out of 3 of the directions that this trade could go. So it's immediately a 66% chance that the trade works with you. But here's the challenge. You see the risk. The risk is that the stock comes down and it goes down below $44 a share, because if it goes down a long ways, then you're going to be on the hook here, and you're going to have to be buying the stock here at $44 a share, and that may not be what you want to do. So how can we limit that risk? And the answer is, we've sold the put. Now we've got this obligation to buy it at $44 if the stock goes down. We need to hedge ourselves if the stock goes down. So what do? We buy a put. So we sold the put for the income. Now we're going to buy a put as a hedge, and this is going to cost us money, but notice what else happens. Our risk has now been limited. The most we could risk here is the spread, hence the name spread, between the option that we sold, which in this case was a $44 put, and the option that we're buying, which is a $42 put. So let's look at some numbers here. Let's pull up an option chain. And if you come down here, you're going to notice that we can sell the $44 put. There's the $44 put. We're going to sell at the bid price. This is about 28 days to expiration. And so we're going to sell this for about 32 cents. And then we're going to go buy the $42 put for about 15 cents. And the difference there is going to be our credit. That's going to be our profit. So let's do some math here. We're going to sell the $44 put, bring in 32 cents. We're going to buy the $42 put, spending 15 cents. And the difference is 17 cents per share. Now, we're doing option contracts, so every contract is 100 shares. If we did, for example, 10 contracts, that would be 1,000 shares, and you would bring in $170 here. Now, you may think to yourself, $170 isn't that much money, and it's really not that much money, but take a look at this. It's only going to cost you about $2,000 in margin, and really it doesn't even cost you at all. They tie the money up, but the money never leaves your account. And so if you make $170 profit on a $2,000 margin, that's all the capital it requires. This is an 8.5% trade. You're making 8.5%, and you're doing the whole thing in about 28 days. So it's a lucrative trade, and it works out well, especially when you execute them properly. Now, watch this. This is the best part of it. The trade has a high probability of success. If the trade goes up, if the stock goes up, great. You're going to realize your full profit. No big deal. Trade goes sideways, you're going to realize your full profit. If the trade comes down just a little bit, but it stays above that $44 put that we sold at expiration, then great, you're going to realize your full profit. So you've got, about 2.5 out of 3 directions that the trade could go. Now, the danger, of course, is that the stock would come down and it would go below the option that you sold here, and that's where your hedge comes in. Your maximum risk here is $2 per share, the difference in the $44 put that we sold and the $42 put that we purchased as our hedge there. So that's the way that a credit spread works. It's a credit because it puts money into your account and you're bringing in more than you're spending. That's why we call it a credit spread. It's a spread because you're using 2 different strike prices of the same month to expiration. Typically, you want to do these with anywhere from 2 to 4, maybe 6 weeks to expiration. That's kind of the ideal spot to be doing this particular type of a trade. Anyway, if you want to learn more about this particular type of a trade and many of the other strategies that we've got available here at TradeSmart, just, number one, watch some more of these trader tips. You're going to find a lot of these kind of little trades spattered out throughout here. And also, you can go over to TradeSmartU.com and get access to a TradeSmart all-access membership. This is where you can have access to additional options training, credit spreads, hundreds of hours of training, all available on demand for one monthly price. It's available to you as an all-access pass. You can find that over at TradeSmartU.com. So if you like this video, like it, share it, pass it around. And if you want to watch some more, go ahead and click to the next one. And I look forward to seeing you in the next Trade for a Living video.